Welcome back, fight fans. We're here yet again for another episode of the Shoot the Shit podcast here on the Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network, as well as Combat Press and everywhere else this show is simulcasted. I am your host, Riley Kontek, here for the 43rd installment of this here show. Before we get to our guest, want to, of course, give a shout out to our sponsor. If you're in the greater Illinois area, head to facebook.com and check out Cornelius and Sons for all your home improvement projects this winter. With the snow on the ground and the negative degrees up here in Illinois, probably going to be hard to be doing the outside deck, but if you got bathrooms, kitchen, flooring, anything you need, again, go to facebook.com for Cornelius and Sons. All right, without further ado, we are going to introduce our guest. He is a top heavyweight prospect in MMA. He is an LFA veteran, among other promotions. We have Brett Martin with us today. Brett, how are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing good as well. Thank you, as usual, for coming on the show. I know you kind of had a busy morning, so thanks for stepping out for a few minutes just to be with us.
Yeah, I appreciate you letting me push it back a little bit. It helped.
Yeah, well, you're the star of the show, so I got to work around your schedule, so we'll just leave it at that.
I got a call last night from my mom that my nephew had a basketball game this morning, so with the COVID situation, you're not going to get a lot of chances, so I scooted up north real quick. So usually I'd be at home right now, but I ended up making a quick trip up here just to watch him play, so I just walked out of the gym.
Perfect. So, yeah, again, thank you for squeezing us in. Now, you say you're in Michigan. I have a lake house in Michigan. What part of Michigan are you in?
West Michigan. I'm from, I guess it's West Michigan, like Grand Rapids now, but I was Hesperia originally, so a little bit more north.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I have a lake house in just outside South Haven, so in the southwest corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, one of my big sponsors is from South Haven, so we spend a lot of time over there because Jakar Close, he fights tonight. Yep. That's where he's originally from is South Haven.
Right,
so,
right.
It's beautiful over there.
Absolutely love it there, right off of Lake Michigan. So who's the sponsor from South Haven? Plug right now.
Top Gun Tree Care. Sorry, sometimes I mess it up and say Tree Service. So yeah, Top Gun Tree Care. His name's Mark Faulkner. Good guy. Great guy. He's been helping me for a couple of years now.
Excellent. Well, at least you remember your sponsor. Jason Knight was having last episode is having problems remembering who his sponsors were, and I said, "Well, folks, he does get hit in the head for a living, so."
Yes, exactly.
Now,
it helps at the end of the fight when the banner's right there, so you can kind of like look over at your banner real quick, get a quick refreshment on all the sponsors.
Perfect. Now, before we had got on, you had said that you're pretty busy, you work a job. So what do you do on the side as, obviously you're a professional mixed martial artist. What else do you do? You still there?
I'm a maintenance man for a little town here in Michigan. So right now we're just, yep.
Yeah, keep going.
So yeah, right now I just do some maintenance for Coopersville, it's called.
Oh, very good. Okay. So what do you think, how is it, obviously training as a full-time pro fighter and having a side job? How does that work?
It's all right with me during the summer, spring, it's usually pretty easy because I have a set schedule, 7 to 3. But in the wintertime, with the storms, it can get a little crazy. But, I still get to handle it. And I think I say this a lot, I get to beat the curve kind of being a heavyweight because I grew up wrestling, so I have like a really weird cardio for a heavyweight. I don't really get extremely tired, so it just helps. And then obviously, I train with a guy that throws a lot of strikes and is one of the top 205 pounders in the UFC. So my cardio is always going to be on my side. So I think it helps when I only get to train 1 a days instead of getting those 2 a days sometimes.
For sure. I think a lot of people misconstrue not having a beach body with having cardio because honestly, everyone always thinks of the fat belly with Roy Nelson, and he's never really had questionable cardio. He's always been pretty good about fighting full.
Yeah, no, that was the whole trick of the trade coming into this. I knew people were going to overlook me, and, I've gotten this far, and people are still, kind of overlooking the style, but it's fine. I'm still young. It's not like I'm a 35-year-old heavyweight. I'll be 28 or 27, I think, this year, something like that. So I'm not 30 yet.
Perfect. And then, that's a good thing too. The heavyweight division is kind of an older fighters, division, and because they have longer longevity, there's not as many heavyweights around as there are, lower weight fighters. So that makes a lot of sense. So in a sense, you're right. You do have a lot of time there. Now, I know that your goal obviously is to get into the big leagues, and we're keeping an eye on that. Have you ever been given an invite to the Contender Series or the Ultimate Fighter?
No, man, we don't. I take a lot of fight. I try to, I don't try to get too crazy on these interviews and saying too much, but man, I've taken so many fights in the last year for different promotions and people and, these heavyweights, I don't want to say they're going running scared, but there's always some type of an excuse or, I do a full fight camp, take my marriage off. I had a wedding during a fight camp, ended up, because that's what we're dealing with right now. I want to get in there when I can get in there. I had the Bigfoot fight. Didn't even get to drink my wedding night, man, and I'm packed up, ready to leave, and they call me and cancel the fight, So, I wish, I beat guys that are in the UFC. I've tried to fight a couple of these guys that are fighting tonight, 2 years ago, and I didn't get, these guys don't take the fight. So, I mean, it's crazy to me, and we're getting to the point now where, we're going to be posting shortly, just pretty much asking anybody and everybody, even if it's for LFA again, because LFA I didn't really. I didn't have a great showing, but, that's not on me. I can't change what other guys are doing when they're fighting. All I can do is come in there and fight. So, I mean, if they want to run it back and do whatever we got to do to get me a fight so that I can get where I belong, you know what I mean? Because, it's just the proof's in the pudding, man. There's not heavyweights out here that are 9-1 with the resume I have. Guys aren't fighting the guys that I'm fighting. You look at my resume, there's not one bum in the last 2 or 3 years on my resume. I'm not picking cans to fight.
Definitely, and I think any scout in the sport, including myself, notices that you definitely have been taking bigger fights. Whereas some heavyweights, heavyweights from Brazil, you look at their record, they're all fighting guys that are 0-0 or 2-5. So
yeah,
I mean,
so
for you to go ahead. I'm sorry.
And that's what I mean. So obviously, I'm not going to have these big crazy knockouts, because I'm still kind of learning that whole base of the sport, and I'm jumping. I'm tenfolds in front of these guys. And I've only been in this sport 5 or 6 years, and I'm ranked top 100 in the world on most data, on most platforms. So, and I, dude, and God honest, dude, I'm as real as they come. I don't lie. I don't stray from, shit talk. If a guy wants to run his mouth, we can run mouths, whatever. But the proof is in the pudding, man. How many times do you see me taking long time out of the cage? I fought 4 times in 2019. So, we're pushing to fight, and right now I understand some of these promotions. They can't pay a lot, but I'm not going to go show up for 500. I work, like I said, I work a full-time job. I got benefits and retirement and, all that coming in for the rest of my life. So I'm not in this, to be your superstar or your poster boy, man. I'm here to make money, make a name for myself and just make a route for other people in the world that are different. You know what I mean? That if you're not that normal face or that normal look, don't think that you can't do what you want to do because, if you're willing to work hard, it is what it is, and you're going to get there.
For sure, absolutely. And when you talk about not normal faces, this guy's on this show every week with a not normal face. So
exactly, I feel you.
So you had mentioned the Bigfoot fight falling through. For anybody who's not aware, what was the details around that? Was it an injury? What happened with that?
I just think he can't get cleared in America, man. Our physicals and stuff are a little bit more, what would they say, watched over, to where he's from, they don't have, I doubt they'll have to do an EKG or anything for guys over 50, and they just kind of can go and fight, and that's what I mean. So I kind of knew going into it, that's where I was upset because that's not on him, that's on the promotion. Right. Don't come to me with, you should have been hitting me up 3 weeks before that show letting me know these things, because I cut weight, man. Like I said, I was going through a wedding. I'm a very family driven person. So, that's in my mind, that's my one night with my lady, you know what I mean? And she's so behind this whole fight thing. She had no issues with it, man. She was totally cool. And obviously, it was heartbreaking. I took her up north for the first time right after. So we ended up doing a little honeymoon instead of the fight, but it's still just, it's just bitter. I can still taste it. Definitely coming off those 2 DQs, when those should have been wins, that's, I wasn't out of those fights at all.
Right. So, you kind of glided into the next question, obviously the UFC's the goal. Do you think that back-to-back disqualification wins has kind of slowed your ascent or basically kind of put you in a position that's why they haven't signed you yet?
Yeah, and then I chose not to make weight for LFA my last fight. I came in, I was like 272 or something like when I landed. They canceled all the pay-per-views. It was supposed to be on national TV. That got cut. So like I said, man, I travel, I work. So if they can take shit off their contract, I kind of felt like I'm going to do the same because I wanted to get out of the contract because at that time they had no shows after that. Right. So if I become your champion and I'm holding your belt, what if I want to fight in Michigan against another top level guy for more money? You know what I mean? I need to be able to make them kind of steps. And obviously, it sucks now because, the DQ happened and, so there's a lot of BS that goes with that, which is fine, man. I'll take it on the chin, just like I took those DQs. It is what it is. How many guys, go back-to-back DQs and they're still standing up saying that they'll refight those dudes or any dude any dude in the world, any heavyweight. You want to send me a top 10 dude? I don't care. I train with one of the best in the world every day. And I know that. So now that that's going on and we're seeing the progression we're both making, I'm ready for whatever, whenever. It's just you're not going to be able to pay me like a chump because then that opens up, the opening to pay everybody like a chump. And that's the biggest thing in this game I can't stand is how these fighters are taking $300-400 fights right now, because that's what they have to do. And it's ignorant for these guys to even offer me that type of money because I'm just not that guy.
Absolutely. I think, and you know what, that's a stance I've heard some fighters take is they know their worth and they're not going to fight under it. I mean, obviously, on one hand you want to get fights in, but at the second hand, I mean, this is a very physical sport that is,
Yep.
demanding on your body and your health, and there's no reason.
Yeah, and I'm not one of those guys that's got all my marbles in one basket. Like I said, I do maintenance work, so I could run a business on the side. I do it now. I do side work all the time to make money. So, I'm not going to go and take the chance of ruining what I built, because these guys don't want to, give me my worth. And that's basically what I deal with is these promotions try to treat me like a replacement. When I got into the LFA tournament, I wasn't the guy they wanted to win the tournament, but, there I stood, and I can't change that. I tell these guys, I don't know why I get in these situations. That's just what it is. So, I just deal with it, and I'm blessed. I can't be more upset with where I'm at. I could have got those DQs and they'd be losses because they happened, a different way. So most guys, when they take illegal shots, they end up losing. So I took multiple illegal shots. Luckily, my brain stays on and my chin takes them, and I can keep fighting. And I never once tried to back out of any of those fights. If you watch the films to those fights, after both the first illegal blows, I told the ref I would like to continue. And then even after the last set, I can't do nothing then because it's the same round, same move from the both, so the ref has to stop it. It's his job. So how am I, what am I supposed to do? These guys, everybody was mad at me. And at the end of the day, I'm not one of those people to get online and apologize. I just don't care. You paid to come watch me. So whatever happens, happens. That's it.
Yep. That's how that works. Now, is the UFC the only thing you're trying to consider right now in terms of the big leagues, or have you been offered anything by PFL or Bellator? Would those be considerations as well?
And that's the crazy thing is, we reach out to these people. I've had a few contract offers from Bellator, and like I said, I signed, say yes because dude, that's big money for me. That's because like I said, my bills are paid, so this is all extra. This is how I build my life and do the things for my future. Yeah, this is what I do for my kids and the stuff that people dream about doing for their families. This is what that's what that money is. So I don't think twice. Like I said, I'm all over it. But it always ends up coming back, it didn't work out, or, you know what I mean? And I'm talking multiple years. I beat Josh Parisian, who's in the UFC 2 years ago, you know what I mean? And I finished him quickly.
And he's back in now.
Yeah, yep. And you know what I mean? So it's hard to say. And I'm open, and that's the thing. We're open for whatever, you know what I mean? As long as you're talking about taking care of your fighter, being respectful, running a respectful promotion. I'm all about being humble and straightforward and respectful. I don't care about shit talking's a part of the sport. So you're going to have that, and that's that. I don't really care. I'm just morally for, if you say you're going to do something, then do it. And if you don't do it, don't be upset with me because I'm upset about it. This is a business, I gotta show my kids, this type of stuff, so when my kids go into an interview, I don't want to see them backing down because, that's what those people are asking for. No, you ask for what you deserve. You know what I mean? If you're that product, then that's what it is what it is,
For sure. And honestly, I was really surprised that you weren't included in the PFL 2021 heavyweight season because I saw a name, and I believe it was a heavyweight, Bruno Capaleza, I believe his name was. He's 10-5.
Yep.
He hasn't really,
that the dude that I got the first DQ against, which I really want that fight back because Renan Fajeda is one of the by far one of the most athletic, tough heavyweights I've fought, and that's what sucks about that fight is he was battering me up a little bit right away, but that's a heavyweight fight, man. That's my style. I'm going to wait. I'm going to make you wear yourself out, throw those big punches, and then I'm going to bury you. You know what I mean? So I had just took him down and was working really well on him, and we're still only in the first round of the fight. And then he ends up getting called for his second round of illegal strikes. You know what I mean? Once again, I can't do nothing about that. But you think I didn't want that fight, you're batshit crazy, because that's a poster boy that I was getting ready to bury. You know what I mean? I was going to do the same thing to him that I did to Josh Parisian. I was going to do the same thing to Daniel James. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting these guys into the fifth round, and then that's what Daniel started throwing illegal shots in the fifth round because he's freaking out because this, to everybody else, this out of shape, you know, heavyweight is in there, and he's dog tired as well. You know what I mean? So I make you work, and I know that, and that's 2 years ago. You know what I mean? That's almost 2 years ago now, that fight was. And I've been in 2 camps since then, all last year, and Jamal's had, 3-4 fights in the UFC now, so, you know what I mean? I haven't left the gym. You know what I mean? I'm just as hungry now as I was when I first started this shit, you know? So I'm just waiting my turn, man. I have no issue waiting my turn.
Now, getting away from the serious question, did it feel weird beating up a 90-year-old man in Daniel James?
Yeah, man, that was just, you know, and that's a lot of my fights now. You know, that's the only fights I get offered, or Tony Lopez or Jack May. These guys are all 40, 45 years old, you know, and it's like,
you've got to take the Tony Lopez fight, please.
Oh, I took it, and that was the first COVID fight that got we were supposed to fight during March, and it got kicked because of COVID. And that's why I said I know that dude would have showed up. You know, that's why I was excited for that fight, because then I can show my striking a little bit, and that's somebody that's going to be there for it. You know what I mean? And that's my game. You know, I'm not going to go like Curtis says. I'm not going to stand up because you say stand up. You know, I'm ready to show. I'm ready now because I'm not where I belong. You know what I mean? Like that. The point was to get to the UFC and then show what I have. You know what I mean? That's my whole game. I'm a trick. You know, I'm a trickster. I ain't here to show you what I got and tell you, oh, I'm going to do this to you. No, you're going to think I'm going to do one thing and I'm going to do something completely different. You know what I mean? That's my arsenal is very deep. You know what I mean? I wrestled that way as well. You know, I wasn't a good wrestler because I was a big, strong kid, and I was a good wrestler because I was smart. So, you know, these guys think that, you know, I'm getting worse or slowing down in these years off. You know, they're absolutely crazy. Just because I'm not in the cage doesn't mean, you know, I'm not growing in mounds.
Absolutely. And God, if they offer you Tony Lopez again, please take that fight.
No, dude, we're ready. And that's the thing. I've signed a fight. I've never said no to a fight. The first fight that I had to turn down was, you know, they offered it on a week and 2 days. You know what I mean? After they'd already offered me 3 fights with people that didn't take the fight. So I can't make, you know what I mean? I'm not about to call my boss during the winter season and try to make that happen. You know what I mean? Because, I got to cut the weight. And if I don't make weight, I lose money. And then if I lose the fight, I lose all credibility on a week and 2 days when you could have just brought me in as your heavyweight, because I'm not going nowhere, man. You could bring me in and put me on a poster. Dude, be different. You know what I mean? I don't know. Put Fat Kid versus Gladiator. You know what I mean? I don't know. Whatever you got to do to put the drama in it to make me get the respect I deserve. I don't really care, but you can't say I can't fight. You know what I mean? I've done it as an amateur and I've done it as a pro. You know what I mean? And I take top guy fights. I don't take, you know, easy fights. Obviously I could take some fights against a 5-5 guy, but you know, what's that do for me? That doesn't get me up. You know what I mean? I wrestled. So in wrestling, you wrestle to wrestle the best, where I come from.
Absolutely. That makes sense to me. So pen has not been put to paper. You have no official fight on the docket. Are you in talks? What's going on?
No. I'll probably do some jiu-jitsu tournaments coming up. You know, we're going to I've been trying to build my jiu-jitsu up a little bit because I'm a grappler, you know, but I don't have a high-level belt. You know what I mean? But I'll sub any dude from, you know, white to black. I don't care. You make a mistake, I'll make you pay for it, you know. So we're going to keep building that. You know, that just gives me something else to build on, you know. So we're going to build that platform up too as well, because right now you see these people putting on these grappling tournaments, you know, in between fights, like Chael Sonnen and, you know, those guys are doing those grappling industries. So maybe, you know, those grappling style, you know, fighting events. So maybe that's just another outlet to make a little cash. And I'm always in grappling shape, dude. I can wrestle. You want me to wrestle a college dude, I'll wrestle a college dude. You know what I mean? I know where my grappling is at, you know. So that's, you know, whether it's wrestling, jiu-jitsu, if you want to do boxing, you want to do kickboxing, you know what I mean? I'm down to cross and show my skills and whatever, as long as there's money involved. You know, that's why we become professionals.
Absolutely, and I think that's the mentality you have to have. Last question before we get to the fight card that we'll talk about the main event. And now it's leaving my head for some reason. The question I was going to... Oh, I'm sorry. Do you stay in fight camp shape in between in the chance that the UFC calls with a late notice replacement fight?
You know, I don't like the people always ask me the fight shape, you know what I mean, thing. It's just you never know. You know, the goal is, in my mind, for me to feel like I'm in the best proper shape for that fight that I have coming up. You know what I mean? Like with the time and what I put in. If I feel like I'm putting in enough time, then I'm going to fight, perfectly. Because it's all about my mental. It's not really about, oh, did you do 2 workouts a day or did you do 3 workouts a day? I don't really count workouts. You know what I mean? I don't do all that. I just show up to the gym, man. I put everything I have forward. I work on what I need to work on. And I listen to the guys around me. And then that's how we move forward, So if I'm in there twice a day, I put everything I have into those 2 times I'm in there, So I'm not one to try to veer too far from just being mentally ready. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the biggest thing in the fight game is if your mental is 100% and indestructible, think of Kamaru Usman. Doesn't matter what people say to him. His mental game is so strong, So I've chased that since I was young just because how I am. People are always going to look at me and think, oh, he's not in shape or he's not putting in the work. When I'm doing the same workouts, if not more than, the guys that look way better than me. So, I always just try to stay mentally happy with myself, and I feel like that's what has gotten me this far.
Absolutely. And as you said tonight, we taped this on the Saturday before the week. Your teammate will be Jamal is fighting tonight, I believe, right?
No. He fights March 20th.
March 20th. What the hell was I thinking?
Well, it's you're close to the date. It's just different month.
Too many.
Yeah, right. It happened. Yeah, no. So, I'll probably be in Vegas when Jamal fights. Hopefully,
perfect.
I try to stay away from his coaches. I got to go the first one because one of our coaches couldn't go down. But I will never step in front of any coach. I mean, it don't matter. This is what these guys have put their work into these athletes for years and years. It's not just for that person. It's for the whole team. So right. I'm just, like I said, man, I'm just waiting my turn. I can't wait to get to show what I've worked on. I mean, that's it.
Perfect opportunity to talk to the boss if you're there for his fight. So
well, we did. Yeah, the first time I went, he beat Klitzen, and we went right in. And the first thing Jamal said to Dane is, "Quit playing with my boy." I mean, they know who I am. I know they know who I am. So, like I said, it is what it is. Because when they see me, when I start beating more people, man, you're gonna have to talk to me one day. And don't think I forgot. You know right. what I mean? I'm not forgetting. Because I'll talk about that money I ain't been making this year because I know what Jamal's making. So, you know what I mean? I know I could be making that too because I done been beat people that can make that. So.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at the main event for this week's card. We have a heavyweight, so you're a heavyweight expert, I guess.
A lot of heavyweight fights coming up. I love it. It makes me happy.
Absolutely, and I think obviously one of the bigger drawing divisions. The fans like the big guys. So we got Jair Rozenstruik in the main event taking on Gane. Between them, one loss between the two of them. So it's a big, two.
That's Francis.
What's that?
And I said that was to Francis.
Right, yeah. I mean, there's no shame in losing in 20 seconds to Francis.
Yeah, and that's why and that's why I said I'll get to this fight because I like this fight. Because when Gane first came in, I was a little worried because he was only like 3-0, but he came from Muay Thai or something or kickboxing. Yep. So I mean, and it looks like he's transitioned really well. So I think tonight will be a good showing for him. And I think it leans towards Rozenstruik just because. If you're going to beat a guy like that, you got to get on him right away like a Francis style. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like Francis was a scary fight for him because if you let him get comfortable and that Muay Thai gets going, he's a savage, man. So I feel like if Gane can get on him right away, maybe he can get him early. But I see if it goes later on, it's going to be Rozenstruik for sure.
If I'm not mistaken, does Cyril not train with Francis and Gane?
Oh, I think now that he's because I think he just recently moved into America. I think it was recently, within the last 6 to 8 months. With this COVID going on, I don't think they were really letting him get much training. So then he jumped ship, and I think he's in Vegas. Oh, okay. So I'm almost positive he's been training with Francis in Vegas. Well, because they're all at Couture together.
We can definitely confirm that the European fighters are trying to get into the United States just to stay and train because we had Mikkel DeSegni on the show, a female fighter from Italy. And she usually trains at Jackson Winklejohn, but she couldn't get back into the country when the pandemic started, so she's had to basically train on her own in Italy as of right now.
Yeah, no, I feel bad for some of the foreign fighters because it's absolutely ridiculous for those guys, and even low pro guys, even guys like myself. I'm lucky, and because it kind of feels like I've been fighting because I'm with Jamal at his camps, and I'm in there every day with him, and I get to at least feel that. The satisfaction of putting that work in. A lot of these guys have been training for 2 years with no fight offers and, they're early pros. So, I definitely feel for a lot of those people.
For sure. Now, getting back to the fight, who do you have? Do you have Cyril or do you have Rozenstruik?
I'll go with. I got Rozenstruik.
Okay. Just a quick breakdown. Gane is 4-0 in the UFC, 3 by finish, 2 by submission. So we're saying a Muay Thai guy. He's got a heel hook and an arm triangle choke. 2 of his 4 wins. Just coming off that knockout.
Strong, I mean.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So
coming off that knockout win over Junior Dos Santos in December, which, Junior kind of cried foul. I don't see how that was an illegal elbow. It was definitely legal.
Don't turn your head when people swinging at you. Because, like, 100%. Hey, I'm one, and that's coming from a DQ guy. You know what I mean? All mine were straight 12-6 elbows, and I kept fighting. I never cried out once. Now, even in my post after the fight, I was more mad that people were upset with me. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, I'm just out here trying to be a better professional myself. That's not how I wanted it to go down.
Yeah, I don't think anybody went with Junior on the him saying that was a legal elbow.
And I love Junior. I love Junior. Junior's one of my favorite guys. But sometimes some of these guys say some things, and that's what I mean. It's sad. You don't want to see a fighter cry. It's a fight, man. So whether even if I would have lost by DQ, but with DQ, you wouldn't have seen me cry out. You know what I mean? I'm gonna reload. It probably would have been better for my brand because then maybe guys will take some of these freaking fights. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's what me and my wife talk about. Maybe I need to lose one. So then guys are like, oh, this dude is beatable. I don't know. You know what I mean? I lost a while ago, but you know what I mean? It's been a minute, so I really don't know. It's confusing.
Absolutely. And then the fun fact is that Rozenstruik is also coming off of a win over Junior Dos Santos. So that was his last
yes,
fight.
That's right.
So he won by knockout, and that was in August. So, well, what does that say about that? But I will give you my prediction. I will actually take Cyril Gane. I think actually his striking is on par with Rozenstruik, and if he's able to actually get him down, I think he does have an advantage on the mat. So I will actually take Cyril Gane.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I do. I forget he keeps getting those submissions. So that'll be, maybe he'll try to, because like I said, if he takes those people down in the first round and he's so strong, he definitely implements a good game plan because it gasses those guys on the bottom out. So
for sure. And I mean,
if he gets Rozenstruik and tired, that's trouble.
I mean, yeah. I mean, was Gane tapping out high level guys? No. I mean, if you're going to tap out Don'Tale Mays, that's like him tapping me out. So
right.
He's not exactly known for his grappling.
But you see some of these high level jiu-jitsu guys getting tapped out in MMA, man. Anything can happen when your brain gets rattled. I've been in a fight. With the fight I lost, I got hit with a big overhand right away. The whole rest of the fight, man, my brain was just on halt. I just felt like it wasn't working. Mm-hmm. We got through it. I was pretty beat up and battered after that 5-round fight, but we got through it. First 10 seconds, man, right on the chin.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, though. We did see that. What was that, last week or 2 weekends ago? Anthony Hernandez tapping out a world champion, Rodolfo Vieira, with a guillotine.
Yep.
I think that had more to do with tired than technique, but it's nevertheless.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. You see that a lot in MMA. Definitely at heavyweight. You see a forearm choke at heavyweight in the UFC, and Dana White's complimenting it. You know what I mean? If you see that at 135, that dude wouldn't even be on the roster.
Right.
But nope, if a big dude can lay on somebody's throat with his forearm and choke him out in a fight, Dana's going to give him a bonus.
Right.
Get the hell out of here, man. You're talking about a hip switch to get out of a choke, man. Get out of here with that. I mean, that's the only way I get salty when I watch UFC fights. When I see stuff like that, because I'm just so go out on your shield way. You know what I mean? Like that's how you get DQs. Otherwise, you don't get DQs being a guy that just folds up. So I don't know.
Absolutely. All right, well, Brett, we thank you for coming on the show today. Really interesting stuff. Good to hear from you. We definitely want to see you in the cage ASAP. So I will give you a second here. The floor is yours. You can whore yourself out. Where can we find you? Anybody you want to thank?
Thanks to the family, my wife, and, we'll say big shout out to my grandma. She just passed this week. I love you, Gima. Yeah, no worries, man. She's a great woman, and it was, she lived a great life. So that's what it is. So just big love to my family, and just know, I'm going to keep pushing forward to represent that name. And, thanks to my sponsors, my gym, my team. Big shout out to Jamal with his fight coming up. And yeah, I'm on Facebook and Instagram as Brett Martin, Big Dog on Instagram, Big Dog 285. And I don't do the Twitter. Sorry. Maybe when I get to the UFC, I think they'll probably make me, but until then, the wife likes it with, just the couple IG and Facebook. Keep it simple. So, that's it. I appreciate you having me on, and thanks for reaching out. And yeah, I'm in the cage sooner than later.
Yeah, we do too. I will now whore myself out. You find this show every week on Loudmouth MMA Podcast Network, Combat Press. We're on all different sorts of platforms, SoundCloud, Apple Play, my YouTube page. Head to MMA Intel, my website, for new scouting reports every week on prospects, rankings, the whole shebang, guys. But you know all that. And then again, you can find me posting the show also on Twitter and Facebook. That's enough about me, though. So, Brett, thanks again for coming on. So for the Brett Martin, I am Riley Kontek saying continue watching the fights, continue watching the show, and go fuck yourselves. Good night.